Hello, Toby Gold here, and I'm in Boston. I arrived the previous day, and today I'm participating in a historical reenactment of the Boston Tea Party with my family. In the meeting room where I am seated, we are being briefed on our mission by two guides playing anti-British organizers, during which we have been given the identities of Boston Tea Party participants. This is me on the gangplank heading for Boston Harbor. Here we are in the hull of the Boston Tea Ship, where the guide is standing next to the accursed tea chests, represented here by white boxes with the East India Company insignia on the sides. Here I'm positioned next to the British trash that my fellow revolutionaries are about to take out. And here's the navigator on the British ship. If you think writing while in a car is hard to do without making errors, this guy's job is to write on an 18th century merchant ship, and they didn't have stabilizers back then. And this is what we did to the cargo. But unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to topple the tea chests in the time we had. Here I am standing in front of a monument to the Revolution, which reads, Revolutionary War Patriots. This marker commemorates the men and women who achieved American independence. These patriots, believing in the noble cause of liberty, fought valiantly to found a new nation, 1775 to 1783. Presented by Massachusetts State Society, Daughters of the American Revolution, in honor of the 250th anniversary of the United States. Near the hotel where my family and I stayed, there was a building which looks very much like the one where Ghostbusters had its final battle, only that was in New York City, not Boston. And here's the view from outside our hotel. On the second day, we went on a guided historical tour of Boston. During the tour, we visited a cemetery dedicated to many revolutionaries and founding fathers, particularly Paul Revere and Benjamin Franklin. These are the memorial and gravestone of Paul Revere. Here are some more graves from around that time period. This is the memorial to Benjamin Franklin, whose body is buried in his home state. This is the tour guide standing next to the statue of Benjamin Franklin. On the same day, I went to the Bunker Hill Monument and Museum with my dad. I'm at Bunker Hill Museum in Boston, and this is a drum from the actual Battle of Bunker Hill. While I was at the museum, I read about how revolutionary sentiments spread, as well as its various figures and leaders. Some of those leaders were Freemasons, a powerful secret society with its own rituals and traditions that played a major role in the plot of a certain Nicolas Cage movie. Here is a painting of the Battle of Bunker Hill. And here I am standing in front of the Bunker Hill Monument. Bunker Hill is on a very steep hilltop, but that's what made it so defensible. On the third day of Boston, my family and I went to the Museum of Fine Art. It was very big, and there was a lot of artwork that stood out to me, but I'm going to pare it down to the ones that stood out to me the most, to name a few. This one looked recent and realistic. This one reminded me of my room in the house where I currently live with my parents. This one looks like a gentleman. This one looks like Shai Hulud, the sandworm god from the Dune film series. This one looks slightly contorted. This one looks rather demonic. This one looks rudimentary, like a celebration of painting itself. This one looks like Edward Mordrake, a real-life man with two faces depicted on American Horror Story. This one uses earthly materials to represent formal clothing. This one is a box with an open side. This one looks solemn. This one looks stern. This one's missing a head. This is the head of Zeus. This one's metallic. This one looks amused. This is one of the most famous Egyptian sculptures in the world, although the queen depicted here is unidentified. These are canopic jars. This one's big. This one's also big. This one looks very upper class. I took a liking to the artwork I saw that day, some of which brought out an emotional reaction. On the last day of Boston, my parents and I went to a local aquarium while my sister went back to Montreal. Here are some seals I saw on the way in. Here is a reef. Here are some anemones inhabited by clownfish. Here is a big fish tank. Here is a small fish tank. Here is a sea lion. Here is a crab. Here are some jellyfish. Here is a saltwater tank with a tree in it. Here is a simulation of a rainforest. Here are some seahorses resting on some kelp. And here's a close-up of one of them. Here is a seabird. Here is a lobster hiding in a cave. Here is another anemone. Here is a starfish pressed against the glass. Here is an octopus tentacle pressed against the glass. Here is the rest of the octopus pressed against the glass. Here are a lot of vibrant colors, despite which the fish featured here doesn't look so happy. Here is the feeding of a sea turtle. And here it is swimming around. Here are some sea worms. Here they are pressed against the glass. And now they're looking around. Here are some baby seahorses. Here is a shrimp climbing up the side of a tree. Here are some fish swimming around.
Yeah, so everybody can see the guys down below. Up there for a minute. Everybody's swimming by. And he's just talking to them.
And here is a shark swimming by.
Sure. So cool.
Here are some penguins standing on the rocks. And here they are looking up at the sky. Here is a manta ray in a petting tank. Here are some baby sharks. I had a great time in Boston. My family got a taste of pretty much everything the city had to offer. Food, history, art, and we all got something out of the trip.